Well, hello there. This is Angelus, and I'm here today to do a brief video on mindset. Now, I'm doing this live video from my office studio. And I'm just making sure, checking all the electronics here. I had some difficulties earlier. I'm doing this because I'm getting a lot of messages and texts and emails from some of my friends, colleagues, and clients asking me a very important but specific question. What is a mindset? That's a good question. So I figured I'm going to tell you in brief this morning what it is all about, what a mindset is, how it's created, where it comes from, and its purpose. I'll be as brief as possible. Now understand, this comes from a lot of years of understanding many of the mechanics of neuroscience, epigenetics, background, and believe it or not, my own electronics engineering career, and quantum mechanics. So you're not going to really know when I'm using them, but this is where the information comes from. So it's from sound science, not from my own opinion, and I'll never give it to you, only the facts. So here's what it is. Hi, Dave. How are you? And there's Wendy, and there's Joe. Nice to have you this morning. Welcome. Good morning. So Dave's asking, yeah, I'm getting to the point. What is a mindset? Dave, what a mindset is, it's best description I can give it is, it's an ancient library construct that stores thoughts and feelings in a 3D holographic medium inside your body. I know that sounds really freaky to say it that way, but that's as closest to the real description of what I understand and been taught what a mindset is. So I'm going to explain each part of it so it's not so strange. But again, I call it an ancient library stored with 3D images of thoughts and feelings, combinations, and network combinations. All about networking, at least in the storage unit called your body. Most people say, "Is this your brain?" Yes, part of the process of storage is your brain, but it's not the main. The brain. Let's see. Let's put it this way. Let's think of your body as a PC or a computer. Your brain is primarily the CPU, processing unit. The storage is more your body. Your spinal column is more the cables. Your heart is maybe comparable to the motherboard, the graphics board, and the sound board, all distinct different components of the way your computer processes information, all important. Without one or the other, the rest really don't work well or at all. But it's not the brain that is the master, believe it or not. It's just the master processor. We have discovered some time ago, decades ago, that there are neurons or brain cells in your heart. They haven't discovered yet, but they're also in other parts, other major organs of your body. They're really all over the whole aspect of your physical body. You ask doctors who do transplant, there are many stories out there. You can Google it. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but when people get transplants, they inherit the genetic memory of the person that had, passed away and, gave the donation of the heart, the liver, the kidney, or the lungs, whatever organ is being transplanted, has memory from the host. So this memory then becomes a collective unit of the new body it's in. And it's really, really strange, but it's a fascinating subject when you study genetic memory. So your body stores everything, not just your head. So that's where it goes. Well, what is then these 3D thoughts and feelings? So let's give you a process how it's created. You memorize basically through a combination of thoughts and feelings. The thoughts and feelings are created by, and it's all dependent on intensity. So in other words, the higher the intensity, good or bad, and I'm using good or bad as an example, not as a determination or a judgment. Good or bad, what I mean is it's going to give you either a pleasant experience or it's going to give you a non-pleasant experience, okay? If it's mild and not a big deal, it goes into short-term memory, similar to the RAM in your computer, and eventually it's just replaced. An example of this is, can you tell me what you did 2 weeks ago during dinner? Give me the details of what you ate, the texture of the food, the color, the feel of the plate, the table you were on, the cars going by, people, dogs, all the information about that moment in that time. You probably can't. You're lucky if you can remember the food, never mind anything else, or the place at least. So the more mundane, the less likely you are to remember it long term. The more intense, you tend to remember it longer, if not forever. So an example, car crashes outside your house. The minute it happens, you have thoughts about it. Thoughts just pop into your head. Wow, what just happened? What's going on? And now you start to have almost immediately, it takes a fraction of a second, but so it feels to you immediately, you start to, the thoughts start to elicit. Oops. I'm in my studio and I forgot to shut off my phone. Your thoughts start to elicit an emotional response. An emotional response, not to be confused with feelings, which I'm going to get to in a moment. So what happens is you hear the crash, or it's something pleasant. You see a funny episode with animals and people going on. Something fun. You're at an amusement park. You're really enjoying yourself. One or the other. Dopamine starts to develop in your brain instantly. Serotonins might be added. You got endorphins that move in. You got oxytocin. You might have some, and if it's scary, you might have, or even pleasant, you might have adrenaline response, etc. You have all these hormones and proteins and going through your system, and they create an emotional response. Now, how intense the emotional response determines on how long it's going to be stored. So let's say, see the crash, you have thoughts about the crash, immediately have an emotional response to it. It might be scared, fear, pity, annoyance, whatever. Your brain takes a snapshot of this moment and then stores it in the body with other similar circumstances. In other words, wherever in the body it has other crashes, you've seen since you were a child, it's going to store and network with those other stories. So then it keeps adding. So in other words, it's so intense and it takes a snapshot. 3D, what I mean by 3D is taste, smell, hearing, sight, all your 5 senses have been, recorded in that snapshot moment. So a good example, everybody remembers when they got their heart broken. Everybody knows when their heart, yeah, exactly. I get a lot of people's responses right now. Yeah, broken many times. Hate being broken. I said, well, it's part of life. I'm sorry, Dave. So hold on. Oh, yes. See, everybody's responses. I remember when of course they remember. Some of them going back decades. Anybody? Let me see. Yep. Decades. Yep. So why do we remember when, the details of when our heart was broken? It was an intense moment. Brain took a snapshot of it. If you were listening to Elvis Presley, I'm all shook up on the radio, it's being remembered. In fact, you remember the smell, the taste, the touch, everything about that moment. In fact, years later, this is called anchoring. Years later, you might be turning on the radio. You might be having a great day. And then you turn on the radio, you hear, I'm all shook up by Elvis Presley. And for no apparent reason, you're feeling sad, anxious, heartbroken, but you don't know why. It's because that triggered an anchor, which is called NLP. NLP, yes. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, Joe. So this is a process of your anchoring to a memory. So now it's taking you, the minute you hear Elvis Presley playing, you are feeling heartbroken, So what is that you're feeling, though? Those feelings. Exactly, feelings, not emotions. Emotions happen in the moment you have a thought. All thoughts create feelings. All feelings are attached to a thought. That's just a fact. I'm not making that up. Accept that. Go Google it if you need more information on it. Then it's stored in the ancient library structure called your body. And I say ancient because 2 seconds ago it's as dead as 2,000 years ago. So this is ancient information. This is the past. And now it's being triggered and it's coming to the present as a feeling of heartbroken. You're not having an emotional response because nothing happened. You might be having a great day with your significant other. Might be on vacation with your wife or your husband. your children, but yet you have this feeling of heartbroken. Why? Feelings from the ancient library. So that's exactly how well, we're not at the mindset yet. These are just aggregate of thoughts and feelings collecting over time. At some point, you're going to start looking at this collection and decide and give it a purpose, a meaning. So when all these car crashes are heartbroken, you're going to add a story to it. You're going to create a meaning to it. Well, accidents are bad. You know, people out to get you, or you're cursed, or people hate me, or people love me. I'm very popular. Whatever. You're going to create a story, you know, depending on the memories of these collections, aggregates of thoughts and feelings put together. These stories then become your reality. Your reality, literally, you start to live. It becomes the result of everyday living. You start to create ideas to these and belief systems to these stories. And you start to accept them as your reality. And you start living that reality. That's how a mindset is created. And once it's created, yes, exactly. I'm getting to the purpose of it. Thanks, Wendy. Once it's created, its purpose is to govern your life completely, forevermore. It's a program that runs unconsciously in the background 24/7, even when you're asleep. And when you're awake, it's running. It's always there. And its only purpose is to make sure that you stay alive. You know, maybe you saw crashes and you saw fire and all that, and it's teaching you to stay far away from cars when you cross the street, or at least look around to make sure and drive carefully. So in many ways, it's there to protect you. It's to make sure you survive and live. That's what a mindset is. In essence, that's how it's created. That's where it comes from, and that's its purpose. And okay, so why do we have to change the mindset? Good question, David. The reason why we have to change a mindset, the only reason why we would ever change a mindset, if it's working, why change it? If we had a mindset that helped us to get through school, college, and to our first job, and we'll have the job of our dream, why would we want to change a mindset? No, we wouldn't want to change that mindset unless during that job or during whatever part of your life you decide, I want to change my life again. I want to take a new job, a new profession, new career. I want to take new education. I want to go another direction. I want to live someplace different. The minute you change something that's dynamically opposed to the program, this is all it is, a program, then that's when it starts to fight you. That's when it starts, it'll do anything to keep you from going in that new direction, because it is a mindset. Its purpose is your reality, your belief. It creates the personality that you are. The moods you have are based on this program. The only way you can change that mood, good or bad, that personality, like it or not, is to change the mindset. So I'm not going to go into any more than that, because that's basically what the video is about. What is a mindset, where it comes from, how it's created. And I'll summarize it again. Your mindset is the aggregate of thoughts and feelings, usually an intense experience, good or bad, which the mind then takes a 3D snapshot of it and stores it in the body somewhere in networks. And then out of that, you create your ideas, your stories, your beliefs about what the world is all about, even what you're about. They don't have to be true. They can be totally illusions, but you believe them. And they are meant to keep you alive and keep you in the direction that you made them for. And they will rule your life until you change that program. In essence, that's what a mindset is. So any other, okay, everybody's like, okay, everybody's got it. Okay, got it. It's kind of strange to some people, but you're welcome. You're welcome. So everybody's, okay, I am done my job today. This is Angelus. If you want to know more about mindset and the next process of it, how to retrain your mindset, you can go to my personal channel on YouTube, Angelus Perez, Train Your Brain. Again, it's Angelus Perez, and it's titled Train Your Brain. Or you can go to Success Genie, Facebook, and see more information. And we also have classes, not just classes, but private communities this is all we talk about every day. So if you want to get into those private communities, send me a message and I will get you the link and we'll talk on the other side. With that, I wish you all a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Take care.